Okay, so I think it's time to open this up to the audience for some questions.
Hi, I'm a big fan. My question is, what advice do you have for aspiring filmmakers, and can you tell us anything about Incredibles 2?
So the second question, I'll say, not yet. I'm working on it. I'll give it a good shot. I promise you that. On the first question, what I would recommend that you do, it's hard for me to do this in a way that doesn't sound bitter because you guys have so many cool tools that I didn't have when I was your age. The fact that people basically carry a movie studio in their pocket now, and you can have high def images with the new Apple iPhone. It's like you have capability of shooting at 4K, which is ridiculous. And you can do stereo sound, and you can edit on your phone. I mean, it's ridiculous how, you know? So I'll just try to stay upbeat and say, you guys have amazing tools. They are really democratic. They're available to a lot of people. You can do amazing things with these very simple tools, and they're quite sophisticated. And there are apps that you can do to stabilize the image to make it look like Steadicam, so you can like do your Scorsese shots and just go to town. The best thing I would say is make films, make them, make the mistakes. It's cheap, all it is time and energy, and study the films that you like and figure out why you like them, and study the films that you don't like and figure out how to fix them. A lot of people stop at just criticizing. And when I went to film school, I saw a lot of people, man, this sucks, and da-da-da. But don't let it end there. If you don't like something or you don't like what somebody did with something, take the time just by yourself to think what you would do to fix it. And it's kind of like working out is for an athlete. You kind of think that how would you have fixed it? And I have some weird fixes for certain movies where I really like the movie, but something I didn't like, and I have a fix. And I don't know if the fix will work, but it's important to take that extra step. So that's what I would say.
What I'm wondering is, you mentioned how the tools are really democratic. I'm wondering, how do you tell the story, and how do you enlist these massive groups, these massive crews to tell the same story with you? How do you spread your vision across a crew of that size?
Well, that's interesting. That's really kind of the director's conundrum is you don't want to shut down everybody's creativity. When you make a film, you have a lot of people with a lot of different talents that they're bringing to the table. The best analogy I can think of is having an orchestra. Everybody in the orchestra is good at what they do, or they wouldn't be in the orchestra. But you don't say, any one of those people could do a solo and it would sound great. But you don't want to say, do whatever you want, because if you have a whole orchestra of people doing what they want, it sounds awful. So you have to find a way to tell them, this is the song that we're singing, but bring yourself to it. And express your individuality, but do it in concert with everyone else. And it's like a group of birds flying, where they have complete freedom, and yet there's a singular movement, and it grows and they expand and contract. So there is individuality, but it's all going in one direction. So I think that's one of the, I don't know how you do it. You have to be a little bit of a psychiatrist. Everyone brings their own stuff every day, and some people have bad days and fights, and some people are a little lazy, and some people are overthink, and you just have to kind of play it individually, like you would with anything. I think it's that. That's the shortest way I can answer that. There's a really long answer, but we don't have time for it.
Hi. Also a huge fan.
Thanks.
Your movies seem to be a little bit unorthodox. You just mentioned that The Iron Giant was a difficult story to sell in retrospect. I mean, even though you accomplished that. The Incredibles, in terms of technology, you did things that were unbelievable. Hair, fabric. How do you continue to challenge yourself? How do you accomplish what you've accomplished? And then for your own personal development, continue to set the bar higher for yourself?
Well, I think maybe the simplest way to put it is it's good to be a little bit scared. I did, when I was in high school, I did theater. And I remember getting ready to go on stage. And we had a big theater in our high school. It was like it was big. It had a balcony. And so it was intimidating to step out. And always right before you went on, you would just feel ill. You'd feel like you couldn't remember your lines. I should have read this before. And then you step out, and the first minute you're just like, oh my God, kill me now. And then you kind of get used to it and you get into it, and then the audience starts reacting and you kind of start liking the way they're reacting, and it starts to be really fun. So I think that when I pick a project that I'm interested in, it's usually something that scares me a little bit and that I'm not quite sure I can do. And that way I'm on my toes and I'm always going to try my best, but if you are a little bit frightened, I think maybe it brings out something special.
Hi.
Hi.
First of all, I wanted to say when the Iron Giant came out, I was just starting to get into animation school, and it was a very good inspiration for me. And I've been an animator for more than 11 years now, so thank you for that.
Way.
And so
come on, give it up.
It was a great inspiration to me as an animator, as a creative person, so thank you for that. The other question I have is, would you ever go back to do a 2D animated film if you wanted to, or if you thought about it?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Great.
I think that, obviously I enjoy 3D films. I'm doing a sequel to Incredibles, as somebody mentioned up there. So I love all those tools that John Lasseter and the geniuses at Pixar kind of came up with. But I think there's a beauty to hand-drawn animation and a simplicity to it and an organic quality to it that I love. And it's an itch that doesn't get scratched by any other means. And I think that studios tend to follow whatever they believe is a trend, and because hand-drawn animated features are either, if they're really inventive subjects, they usually have very small budgets and tight schedules and can't really do the elaborate visuals. And if they have the longer schedules and the big budgets, they tend to do fairy tales. And so no one has really taken Disney quality and applied it in really unusual directions. And so I still believe that it's viable as an art form. And people, I think, confuse the fact that nobody has made a matrix in animation with thinking that hand-drawn animation is an antiquated art form and can't do anything cool anymore. And I just don't agree with that at all. And I think my ideal world would be one where clay animation is done, Henry Selick, puppet animation is done, hand-drawn animation is done, and CG animation is done, and all of these things and combinations therein are just used as tools to tell stories.
How do you, as an artist, feel that you're able to express yourself to the best of your ability while also pleasing the people that are giving you money to do so?
I think that if you start to get too logical about the assignment of, what you're supposed to do as a filmmaker, if you think about it really logically, what you're supposed to do is, from a business level, is guess what everyone, regardless of their age, religion, race, creed, is going to like 2 years from now. You'll just go insane. You'll just curl up into a ball and start babbling. But you can't think of it that way. And I don't think you can think about what's going to make the studio happy. I think you have to just go, what do I want to see in a movie theater? And then it becomes more simple. And you just hope that the studio also wants to see that film, and that ultimately the audience will want to see that film. I think that that's the only way you can approach it. I think that if you start second-guessing a bunch of other people, you're just going to be led astray because you can't know what everyone would like. And, what did they say about a platypus is a creature designed by committee or something? I think that committee filmmaking never works out.
Hey, Brad, it's Moroni
Hi.
Taylor.
Hey, man.
Good
He
to
worked
see you.
on the film.
I did. I brought some friends
Yeah,
from Blue Sky
Moroni
with me.
Taylor, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. You did something really cool on the film when we were storyboarding. You brought in Bill Pete. And I
Yeah.
thought maybe you could
The
tell
best.
the best,
The best.
the very best. I was wondering if you could tell the audience a little bit about that. I found it really inspiring and cool that he came in.
Well, because I met these Disney masters when I was a kid, I have a, Hollywood is often accused of having ageism, where once you get to a certain age, no one is interested in hiring you because you're not hip or whatever. And I have exactly the opposite viewpoint. I feel like the craftsmen that come before you I revere them. I love listening to them. I love asking questions of them. I like challenging them with things that I haven't been able to figure out, and they always have amazing things to say. And when we were making the film, to me, the ultimate story man is Bill Pete. He's the only guy that I mean, I guess Miyazaki does this as well. But he's the only Disney guy that has storyboarded an entire film by himself. And the movie 101 Dalmatians is pretty much exactly what he storyboarded. And he was a legendary story guy, and he was still alive when we did the film, and we had him come over, and we named our story room after him and had a drawing that he had done of himself in Disney days, and he's really pissed off looking and grumpy, and he's got his coffee cup, and I related to that too, just that's what hard work looks like. So he was just an inspiration, and I thought he would be good to have him come around and remind everybody what it's like to really, kick it up a notch. Yeah.
All right, my big
Hey.
question is a lot of your films are very optimistic, and that's always really refreshing. That's the one thing I always really like. But what's the one thing that keeps you really happy in this dark, depressing world we live in? And what gives you hope and kind of
Wow.
put that into the filmmaking?
Is it only dark and depressing? We're here. This is warm. We got cool products
Well, what
out there.
gives you hope?
Beautiful day in New York.
What gives you hope?
What gives me hope is hope itself. I mean, I think that when things get really dire, people actually rally and surprise you. And, this town is an example. I mean, look at, September 11th. I mean, that was an absolutely horrible event created by the very lowest of human nature. And how did people respond to it? The very best of human nature just popped up out of everyday people going about their day. Suddenly were in the position to, really find that best part of themselves and rise to the occasion. And that's what people did all over the town, spontaneously. And so I believe in that. I know that's in everyone. And, it's like Tomorrowland. It's like, which wolf wins, whatever wolf you feed. And if we feed that side of ourselves, the world is going to get better. We shape the future. Every one of us, in some small way, shapes what tomorrow will be. And if we start giving up on it and believing that we have no effect on it, then it will be lousy. But if we say that we can affect it, and we think about it and think what the best thing to do is, that future will come too. So I believe in that better thing. And it's just, I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. It sounds like I should go into a song somehow.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming out tonight.